Hello and welcome to Caipiteal. So in this video I'm going to be talking about our generational wealth vehicle. So the generational wealth vehicle is all about securing generational wealth for individuals or families, or ensuring that companies have a cash flow that is 100% or pretty much close to 100% secure. We can't say 100% because something unusual could happen, like communism could take over or something extremely strange could happen. But we've run 40,000 years of simulations, and we can say that it's pretty much close to 100% that your wealth will continue to grow and be secure indefinitely, or for as long as financial markets survive anyway. So let's get into the presentation. So in this presentation, we're going to talk about the problem first, our solution, the result of the solution, the Caipiteal fee structure, the minimum investment. We're going to talk about our team, and we're going to talk about the security and structure of the Caipiteal fund. So this particular presentation pertains directly to our high net worth fund, which is domiciled in Dublin, Ireland. We've got kind of all the bells and whistles attached to it to make sure it's as secure as possible. We do have a retail investor fund, however that'll be for another video, where you can invest as little as €1,000, but in this case the minimum investment is going to be €100,000 for the Irish domicile fund. So the whole purpose of Caipiteal is to increase the probability of yourself or your family remaining wealthy forever, or your company to pretty much close to 100%. So let's get into the problem. The problem, first of all, is 10% of millionaires declare bankruptcy in their lifetime. So what this means is, of all the millionaires out there, yourself and your friends, etc., about 1 in 10 of them are going to go broke or declare bankruptcy. So it's actually a very, very high statistic. So if you're at a party or something and look at 10 different families, one of those families are going to go broke if they're in the millionaire status, which is very, very significant. And it actually gets more significant as time goes on. So by the second generation, there's actually a 70% chance that a wealthy family will go broke. So again, if you're at a party and looking at 10 families, only 3 of them or their kids are still going to be wealthy. Statistically, that's without Caipiteal, of course, but statistically only 3 families in a party of 10 would be still wealthy. And that's the second generation. And again, by the third generation, it even gets more unlikely. So by the third generation, 90% of all wealthy families go broke. So again, if you're at that party with 10 wealthy families, look around, only one of those families is still going to remain wealthy by the time they have grandkids, which is or by the time their grandkids are grown up, which is very, very significant. And that's the problem, and that's the problem we're solving. So the way we solve it is, let's say yourself or your family or your company wants to invest or wants to secure their wealth, and you have 100 million you want to invest. Let's say your total net worth is $1 billion. So we would take that 100 million and we would lock it up indefinitely. So you can never touch it, your kids can never touch it, your grandkids, your great-grandkids can never touch it again. And then we invested in the entire global economy. So what I mean by investing in the entire global economy, I'll get into in the next slide. But we allow you in withdraw 50% of your profits either each quarter or each year, depending on what you want to do. We recommend every year because the compounding effect is higher, and we recommend you only remove it, of course, if you need to remove it, because if you're not removing it, then it'll be compounded in, and then the year after it should be worth more, or in the long run it'll be worth more. So how does this actually work? So obviously we're locking up your investment indefinitely and investing in the entire global economy. So how we do it is we invest in the entire global economy, or the world. So at the moment it's just Earth, but as in a few generations we'll probably be invested in Mars, etc. But let's say 24.8%, for example, of the total GDP, which is the total money in the world at this time, is in the United States. So we invest 24.08% of your investment into the S&P 500, which is the top creme de la creme blue chip stocks in the United States. 15% of the total GDP or total money in the world is in China this year in 2022. So we invest 15% into the China 50, which is the creme de la creme blue chip stocks in China, and so on and so forth for the top about 25 countries that aren't on the EU or UN sanctioned list. So anywhere we're legally allowed to invest, we invest in. We don't go any further than the top 25 countries because after that, the percentage of GDP is relatively low. So we just stick with the 25 countries at this time anyway. That might change. But as that goes on, we obviously adjust the percentage of your investment in each economy and as new GDP numbers come out, and we're continuously adjusting those numbers. So we're incredibly safe. So what I'm basically saying here is we take your money and we invest it in the world. So we all know that the world continues to improve. So we had fire, and then we had the wheel, and now we've got the internet. Now we're talking about AI. So it just goes on and on and on and on. The world continues to improve, and we've run 40,000 years of simulations based on 100 years of real world data. And it looks like you should be remaining wealthy, and your wealth should be growing indefinitely or for as long as financial markets are. And as I said, you can withdraw 50% of the profits each year. So incredibly safe, probably the safest investment in the world because you're invested in the world based on how much of the money each country has. And the result about is a 11% return per year. So that's over the last 17 years. It's about 11.5% over the last 17 years. Over the last 100 years, it's actually about 10%. This is all before fees. And I'll talk about fees in a few seconds, but it's a very, very significant return considering you're invested in the creme de la creme of the entire world. So you're investing in the absolute best things in the entire world, and also you're going to be invested in anything new comes out because as that company develops, it'll enter the index of these. Of each country, and we'll be invested in them. So we're invested in anything the world really likes this time. So although we're not directly invested in like gold or cryptocurrency or anything like that, for example, Tesla will be in the S&P 500, and Tesla holds Dogecoin and Bitcoin and all these things. So we'd be invested in basically everything in the world indirectly by investing in all the top companies in the world is really how it works. And this is what your money should look like. So let's say you have a starting investment of 10 million. This is if you're not withdrawing your profits, by the way. So this is if you're compounding in and you decide, look, we don't need to withdraw our profits this year, so we're going to just compound in. This is how your money would look to grow. Again, these are very much based on the average. However, we do have another video on we can give you more information on the 40,000 years simulation we've run as well. So these are based on average growth rates as opposed to simulated growth rates. Just I should note that. So start of your when you first start, you'd have 10 million. In 5 years, you'd have 14 million. 10, you'd have 20 million. 25, 50 million, 50 years, 241 million. Again, bear in mind, this is for your entire family, not just you. This is your kids, your grandkids, your great-grandkids, so on and so forth. Anyway, by 200 years, you'd have about 2 trillion, which is quite incredible. Obviously, again, this is based on the averages as opposed to simulation, but we can share the simulation with you as well, and it's very, very similar numbers because, as I said, it all averages out over time, and this is all after fees, of course. But let me show you what happens if you are withdrawing your profits every year, because that's what some of you will be interested in. Some of you will be interested in just compounding and remaining safe and withdrawing when you actually need to withdraw. So if you are withdrawing your profits every year, of course, you'd have a starting value of 10 million. At the start, the profit you'd make would be about 420,000. By year 50, you'd be making a profit of 1.2 million a year. By year 200, again, for your kids, your grandkids, you'd be making 34 million a year from just that 10 million investment. That's a profit you're removing. And obviously, you can see that the value after 200 years, it doesn't go up to the 2 trillion like compounding example, but it does go up to like 800 million, which is pretty fantastic as well. And again, these are all based on average numbers, and we can share the simulation with you as well, so that you get a more wide variety of what you can expect to obtain here with Caipiteal. And again, it's 40,000 years of simulations. So what we obviously recommend, as I said, is you only remove the profits if necessary. And the reason for this is obviously, if you're not removing the profits, your compounding results, as you can see by year 200, you're at 2 trillion, is a lot larger as opposed to 800 million here at year 200 if you're continuously removing your profits. So that's our recommendation, is you continue to compound in the profits until a time that you need to withdraw them, or that you'd like to withdraw them for some other purpose. But we have different structures, such as trust fund and pension fund structures, etc., that you can use. And there will be another video of that, and there is a link to the file describing that on our website as well. And our fee structure, so we're the same as any fund, any hedge fund out there. We take 2% of assets under management and 2% and 20% commissions on profits. So it's very simple, same as any fund, but we're just highlighting it so that you see it. But basically the exact same as any other hedge fund out there. Our minimum investment, as I said, we do have a fund based in Mauritius where we do take retail investment, which allows us to take a minimum of 1,000. But our main fund based in Dublin, Ireland, which has all the bells and whistles and security, etc., has a minimum investment of 100,000. Again, we do recommend an absolute, if you're a high net worth or ultra high net worth individual, or a company looking to secure your company, we do recommend an absolute minimum of 10,000. The minimum we will accept is 100,000. The minimum we will ever recommend is 10 million. And the reason for this is it gives you that profit kind of security each year, as opposed to if you lump two decimal places off this, you'll be making 42,000 or 4,200 off 100,000. So the 10 million really keeps you safe and secure kind of forever, and that's why we recommend a starting value of 10 million. Or a minimum starting value of 10 million. Again, if you want to have millions secure every year, then obviously you bump it up to 100 million or 50 million. We have one client that we're talking about with 50 million actually today. So we do recommend higher, obviously, than 10. And a little bit about me. I am Benjamin Boyle. I'm the founder of Caipiteal. So I have 4 business and investing qualifications. I came top of my class in my MBA. I'm well known to many government leaders around the world. I have a letter from Joe Biden telling me to keep going, and we need more people like me on my office wall here, which is pretty cool. I cracked the financial markets the first time back in 2017, made 1,200% gains in 10 days. An EU leveraging law eventually changed. You can Google that and see how the leveraging law has changed. I was recognized in various print and digital media because of that. I've spoken at conferences all around the world, on various investing shows, and been in various print and digital media. And yeah, I'd be well known in certain circles. Yeah, and that's me. So a little bit about the security and structure. So we place an additional layer of security between ourselves and your funds, just to really add an additional layer of security. So we use outsource fund services providers to ensure that your funds have that additional layer where the execution is actually going through these outsourced service providers, which means that if you want to check the status of your funds, for example, you'll be able to not just check with Caipiteal, or you'll be able to check directly with the fund service provider. So, and in terms of our banking, we work with Bank of Ireland, which is the top bank in Ireland, as you can probably guess by the name. But in the Mauritius fund, there is less security, but again, that is mainly for retail. The security for the Irish domicile fund for the high net worth and ultra high net worth individuals is a lot higher, and we have a number of different layers of security. Obviously, everyone in both funds will have to pass KYC and AML, which is quite stringent because obviously we are a financial services company. But yeah, we keep you as secure and as safe as any fund out there. Our fund, as I said when I was setting up, they were all asking me how I wanted, if I wanted this and that. I said I want literally all the bells and whistles. Let's make this the best as possible, purely because we're locking it up for ourselves, our kids, our grandkids, our great grandkids, so on and so forth. So it's not just for us; it's for them. So we put every bell and whistle in we possibly could. And that's it. That's our fund. You can have a look at the other videos to understand in depth how it works. But that's really the premise of Caipiteal. So yeah, I'd recommend you get in and secure your wealth today, because again, once you do it, you remove that little part of your brain that says, "Will something happen?" And you'll say, "We're all good. We're with Caipiteal. We're gonna be wealthy forever." So yeah, thank you very much, and I'll talk to you very soon. Yeah, contact us at contact@caipiteal.com. Cool. Bye-bye.